Hello again. This is Mark speaking to you from Virginia to bring you another message. I thank my brother Kamran so much for inviting me to participate in this ministry. So thank you, Kamran. God bless you. Today's lesson comes from John 14, and specifically verse 27. And we'll get to that in a minute. But first, I have a question for you. You recall back when ISIS was going through the Middle East, through Iraq and Syria, and just creating havoc, burning down churches, knocking down churches, and creating just such turmoil. At that time, I would ask, were you praying for peace? Did you pray for peace at that time? Well, so I know many of you were praying for peace. So what happened? Where was the peace? Did peace come? Did God ignore your prayers for peace? Well, I don't know. I don't think he did. I want you to take a look at a short video of some of the things that were happening over there. And I want you to think to yourself, where is the peace? So watch this short video, please. So there you go. We recall these images from the news. We would watch them every night, and it seemed like day after day there was just more destruction and more killing and more sorrow. So many probably believed their prayers for peace were being unanswered. But I want to go to our verse today, which is John 14:27, and read what it says. This is what Jesus told his disciples shortly before he was to depart. He says, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid." So Jesus is saying, I give you peace. Now, how many of those first disciples experienced peace? They were beaten. They were tortured. They were murdered horrifically. Where was the peace? Well, we have to look at the verse a little closer. He says there right in the middle of this verse, not as the world gives, do I give to you. Oh, so Jesus is giving us peace, not the kind of peace that comes from the world, but a different kind of peace, maybe a new kind of peace. Well, to understand what Jesus gives us, we have to look at what the world gives us. Okay, what kind of peace do we get from the world? Well, if you live in a relatively safe country with a government that is responsible and leaders who have integrity, if you have a strong economy and you have wealth, you're able to care for your basic needs. If your country has a strong military, they're able to protect from outside invaders. All of these things are forms of peace that the state gives us, the government gives us, the world gives us. But I would say, and you probably know people who live in these very safe places, but every night they go to bed and their hearts are troubled. They're concerned someone's going to get their money, or they're afraid that, someone's going to break into the house and take their nice things. They're worried about their children, about their marriages, about their jobs. They worry. Their hearts are not at peace because the world cannot bring them the peace they need. That comes only from Messiah, only from Jesus. The peace that he gives us is not peace that provides us with material comfort. The peace he provides us is not even the peace that comes from, being safe in the economy and safe from outside invaders. The peace Jesus gives us is much better, far superior than to anything the world can give us. Because you see, in the middle of the storm, the world can only bring you a certain amount of peace. But what Jesus does is he puts your heart to rest. He gives you peace in your heart and in your mind, knowing that he has everything under control. You see, the world can only give us peace over some of the storm, but Jesus gives us peace in the midst of the storm. So as things are seemingly out of control around us, we see despair and trouble in every direction. In the middle of that storm, Jesus gives you his peace. And we know this to be true. As I've shared before, I work with persecuted believers around the world, and there are Muslims who lived through this period of ISIS moving through their communities, and they would tell their Christian friends, they had neighbors who were Christian, and their kids played together, and they shopped at the same stores. There was not this hatred that we tend to believe that exists between Muslims and Christians. No, they were friends, and the Muslim neighbors would say, "Listen, you have to leave, or you have to fight. The ISIS is coming, they're going to kill you." And all of the Christians would say, "We've already died. We've already died to our Messiah. We're not afraid. He has given us his peace." So the Muslim neighbors would want this peace. The Christian neighbors would invite their Muslim friends for prayer, for study, and the Muslims would in short time accept the peace of their new Messiah. So we've seen this prayer for peace work in the world where it's needed most, where the storm is the strongest. Jesus is there. He is there to give his peace. Lord, we're praying for their peace that comes only from Jesus, only from a relationship with his Father, our God. Thank you for joining me once again. God's peace to you all.